pool play. We have 7 teams entering the elite competition, so they've all been playing against each other. Kicking off in the teal jerseys is Atlantis. That's Julie Rickenock with a kickoff wearing the number 1 jersey. Kicking off to Play Rugby USA wearing the white and blue. This Play Rugby side had a couple of tough matches yesterday, some absolute speed shown without their players, or throughout their players. The Atlantis team also competing quite well. So this is the first meeting between these two programs. Play Rugby USA new to the tournament. Good morning and welcome back to the Regional Athletic Complex in Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm Liz Entwistle at the North American Invitational Sevens. We are continuing in pool play action with our girls elite U18. We have a scrum here. Earlier it was Atlantis in the teal kicking off to Play Rugby USA wearing the white and blue. Atlantis, a mostly Pennsylvania-based side, but this particular team has a lot of players from 8 different states competing together as their girls high school All-American East camps taking place, and has pillaged a bunch of the Atlantis usual roster. This Play Rugby USA side wearing the white and blue, largely New York based, but has a couple of guests as well, in particular wearing the red scrum cap Megan Bird out of Oak Creek High School in Wisconsin. So these two teams both played great days of rugby yesterday. Atlantis went 2-1, and the Play Rugby USA team, I have to verify some of the scores, but I believe also 2-1 on the day. With this round robin of action and 7 teams in the tournament, it means that each team is playing each other for 6 games of pool play, and then the top 2 teams will advance to a championship later this afternoon. We see a penalty shown to Atlantis. That's number 1, Julie Rickenock with the ball. It's interesting to note with this Atlantis side, they only have 1 experienced player. So there's 11 rookies to this touring team. They do feature players from Minnesota, from Pennsylvania, from New Jersey, from Colorado, from California, and this is a storied program in the United States dating back to 1986. So one of the premier touring sides, over 30 years of experience with the Atlantis program, and run, of course, by the Emperor himself, Emil Signes. This is a beautiful break from Play Rugby USA. Their number 12 stepping down the sideline. She was definitely a speedster and a playmaker yesterday, and she's going to open up the scoring. So Play Rugby USA is going to go up 5-0 as soon as she gets this ball down. And right under the post, setting up her team for a fairly easy conversion kick, of course, in this game of sevens, this 2-day tournament. Affected. We know that some teams taking their recovery quite seriously yesterday, while other teams have rumored to have gone to the water park, other teams taking advantage of the pools, and of course the hot tubs at the hotel. But I can't imagine Play Rugby USA missing this kick right in front of the post. So with the score there was Mallory Billingsley, the number 12, and we have 2 number 5s on the field, Ali Manella from Morris and Madia Parker from New York Rugby Club. I believe that was Ali on the kick. This Play Rugby USA side, of course, wearing the jerseys that are fitting best, so kind of combined jerseys with their boys team also playing in the elite division. So we have 2 number 4s, 2 number 8s, 2 number 7s, and 2 number 5s, as these ladies are trying to wear the smallest jerseys to avoid tackles and, of course, avoid getting chased from behind. So kicking off, number 5, assuming again, Ali Manella from Morris. My apologies if that's Madia Parker. Madia plays her rugby with the New York Rugby Club, based in New York, and actually has ties with the coach of one of the coaches of this program. So coaching this Play Rugby USA women's side, we have Tom Fury, based with the Morris Rugby Club in New Jersey, also with the Blaze, which is a touring, or I say a competitive girls high school sevens program that plays over the summer, and he's no stranger to this Atlantis team, as he has played and coached and has So that is Julie Rickenock coming up from the fly half position. She's based in Montana, has a couple of older brothers playing rugby, one of her brothers at Life University. That team won the 2016 15s National Championship, whereas their women won the 2016 USA Rugby Sevens Championship, as well as the CRC, that Collegiate Rugby Championship that's hosted in Philadelphia. A number of the teams that are out here at the tournament this weekend play in the high school bracket of that tournament. So they do a high school RC, HSRC, that's in Philadelphia as well. A lot of these clubs getting together just to get the high-level playing experience that they don't find necessarily in their home states. A chance to elevate, show off a little bit for some of the college coaches, and of course the USA selectors. So this is a good steal here by Play Rugby USA. held up in a little bit of a maul situation, but quickly to the ground for the ruck. And we see this ball bouncing back and forth off of the feet, so play on, says the referee. That is referee James in the middle, one of the Rugby Utah refs. And a solid drive from Play Rugby USA, showing off their strength and power and getting into their speedster, Mallory Billingsley, number 12, a little bit of a knock on. So we're going to see a scrum to Atlantis just here at the halfway mark. So this Atlantis team, coached by a whole host of coaches on the sidelines here, we do have the Emperor Emil Cygnus. He is a former USA men's and women's sevens coach, largely responsible for the development of the game of sevens here in the United States. This Atlantis team has had 1,233 players go through its ranks between its senior men, senior women, and now adding in the juniors. This girls U18 side is about 2 years old, and they added a U16 team as well. On this Atlantis team, there are but I think 2 seniors, or 2 graduated seniors, so quite a young side, getting a lot of quality minutes in. We've had a lot of their players go on to play at Linden University. Of course, Coach Billy Nicholas at Lindenwood is a coach that's coached with the Atlantis Tours with both their U18 teams at New York Sevens and also with their senior women's side at tournaments like Tobago Sevens. So he's here keeping an eye out for players looking for his Lindenwood program. Also on the sidelines for Atlantis today, though, taking over the head coaching roles is Kevin Corley. Kevin, coach with the Morris Rugby Club with Tom Fury across the way in the blue with the Play Rugby USA. And Kevin will be assisting at Life University starting this fall. And quite a few players here in the tournament have gone through or I should say, coming back to the state of Utah for her college rugby. This is a side, this BYU women's team, that made the final of the D1 Women's Elite competition. That was a new college structure that was set up. It included teams like Lindenwood, Life, Central Washington University, New Mexico. So she'll get some quality rugby here in the state. One veteran on this team. Her co-captain is at number 1, Julie Rickinaw, that took that quick tap penalty and set up the try for Carly McMahon. And that goes into halftime now. We have Play Rugby USA 7. Canada. And they also played against the Rhino Girls Elite, and that was a 19-12 victory for this Play Rugby USA side in white. One of their huge playmakers here, Megan Bird, wearing that red scrum cap. Wearing the number 8 jersey. She's one of 2 birds on the team, last name spelled differently, both of them wearing the number 8 jerseys as well. So Megan Bird plays her high school rugby at Oak Creek. She actually played with this Atlantis team at the Atlantis Sevens earlier in March. That was alongside the Women's World Series tournament. That Atlantis side won the tournament, defeating the Scion Academy in the finals. A great showing. And that was an Atlantis team that had a large amount of their veteran experienced players. We have players such as Emily Heinrich, Ali Ramage, and Paige Kraling that are currently with the Girls High School All-Americans in their East tour. That team yesterday taking on Rugby Quebec, the U17s winning their game in the range of 71-0, and the U18s followed suit also with a large win over our compatriots from Canada. So it's allowing this Atlantis side to play a lot of their new players, and they've said that because they do have such depth with their program, especially with the girls that were able to come out this weekend after calling around to some experienced coaches around the country, they'll now be able to put 2 elite teams into tournaments like Las Vegas and the New York Sevens that they also attend. So we see a penalty shown to Atlantis. Again, Julie Rickenow wearing that number 1 jersey. She is the assistant captain, taking the quick tap. The last time she did this, she offloaded to her number 3 on the right, Carly McMahon. We'll see if they can replicate this magic. Carly doing well to keep the ball alive as a nice flick off the ground after Julie was tackled. So Atlantis has the numbers outside, couldn't quite connect with the passes, but keeping the ball alive. A little bit of a chip kick there. That was their number 4 in on the action. So doing their best to maintain possession. That was Alex Pipkin, the number 4, that was using her footwork skills. And the name of the game is possession when it comes to Rugby Sevens. We're not going to see as much forcing the ball and going forward, but really a game of patience, trying to stress the defense trying to maintain their solid wall in support. We'll see them oftentimes marked up with 6 defenders and 1 sweeper back. Right now we're in a scrum situation, so no sweeper as everyone's matched up man on. It's a scrum to Play Rugby USA as their team's aligned steeply in offense, but the ball is stolen by Atlantis. And see this quick transition between the offense and defense that happens so much with all amount of turnovers in sevens. Speaking of turnovers, another turnover produced by this Play Rugby USA team, getting the ball wide left. Number 8, Megan Bird, just a tiny knock forward, receiving that pass, so it's going to be a scrum to Atlantis. A couple subs coming onto the field. That is Kalaisha Bird from Play Rugby USA. So this Play Rugby USA team is drawing from quite a few different schools now. They are a community Olympic development program that was just announced this week, sanctioning with the USOC. So while there's Play Rugby USA academies that exist in New York and in California, headed by their CEO, Mark Griffin, this particular team is now drawing from other schools as well. So there are girls that do play for Play Rugby USA in New York. This team also features players from Morris, Oak Creek, and the New York Rugby Club. So it's Atlantis with a steal on the scrum. Referee says the ball is backwards, play on. So that's number 1, Julie Rickenow, been a huge ball carrier and a big threat going forward for Atlantis this weekend. Looks like the ball is knocked forward into touch, so now it's going to give the team the option if they prefer to take the scrum or if they want the line out. Play Rugby USA with the choice. And given the pressure both these teams have put on the scrums, we've seen a couple of defensive steals. It looks like they're opting for the line out. It also buys their team a little bit more time. If they're solid in their platform here, they've got 10 meters back on both of these fly halves, so a little bit more space on the field compared to the scrum, where players are 5 meters back off the base of the scrum. Line out tipped and won by Play Rugby USA, but ball straight. It's going out of bounds. If no other players have touched it, if it doesn't bounce over the fence, then they can do a quick line out. And in that situation, as long as the other team doesn't have their line out set, they can throw the ball back to the field of play. It has to travel 5 meters onto the field, and it can go straight onto the field or backwards to any receiver. And we'll see that happen from time to time. Heads up players here in the game of sevens. So another complication with the line out, and we're going to see a scrum to Play Rugby USA. Again, a couple more subs coming onto the field. So we mentioned Coach Tom Fury with his Play Rugby USA team. Their other coach, James English, he is no stranger to people that are fans of women's rugby here in the United States, coaching the New York Rugby Club in the Women's Premier League. Their schedule was just released this week, so check out the WPL and Maple Leafs team as well. So this rugby athletic, or excuse me, I'm going to call it the Rugby Athletic Complex, this regional athletic complex, playing home to quite a bit of rugby since opening last year and last August. Over 16 fields worth of space. We have 6 fields in action this weekend for the North American Invitational. And we'll see who from these rosters may make their debuts at the future Super Series competitions. Another scrum, this time it is Play Rugby USA that comes away with the ball, stealing it from Atlantis. So both these sides doing quite well defensively in scrums, producing a lot of turnovers. A fantastic tackle there by Julie. In goal, and they do just that. So it's Atlantis with the ball, getting in some fast and furious rucking situations here. Play Rugby USA solid in their tackles, making them work for it. A lot of space to the left side of the field. And it looks like it is Rickenau that's going to try to drive it in, just stop short of the goal line. And it is a steal for Play Rugby USA. The coaches have to be pleased with that defensive stand. And it's Play Rugby USA tackled into touch. Both these women's sides doing excellent work hitting their tackles. Referee says no, we're not going to go quick. And it's Play Rugby USA making another sub, bringing back on speedster Mallory Billingsley. Play Rugby USA would love to walk away with the win. Again, both of these teams sitting with 2-1 records. The team that wins putting themselves into a great position to advance to the final. Atlantis wins their line out, a solid throw. And we see them come from the base of the line out straight to their fly half. It's Julie Rickenau, the number 1, giving it outside. I believe that ended up in the hands of Kelsey. Nope, sorry. As I say, one of my favorite players of the tournament, Kelsey Svassand. But with these Roman numerals on this Atlantis jersey, of course, paying homage to the legend of Atlantis in the Lost City, it can be a bit difficult from time to time to tell. You want to say that that's a number 11 out there, but sometimes it is just the number 2. So we see a penalty shown to Play Rugby USA taking the ball forward. It was knocked in contact, then knocked again by Atlantis. So no advantage gained. It would be a scrum to Atlantis, but that is the game, a hotly contested event. It's Play Rugby USA that walk away 7-5 victors. That'll move them up to 3-1 on the tournament, while Atlantis falls to 2-2. Again, pool play action. We don't know what's going to happen later in the day. We still have games coming up with the Upright Rugby Rogues from Canada, the Rocky Mountain Rebels out of Colorado, Rhino Academy, that is a California-based team this time around, and of course the home Utah Lions. We'll be back in action here in just a moment.